Hey everybody, welcome to With the Flick, Homeland Season 6? Whoa. Episode 4, Casus Belli, Ben, Alonso. We were just saying in the...
Is it 5? Is it possibly episode 5?
Maybe it's episode...
Yeah.
No, but this is what I get for not looking beforehand. Anyway, it'll say in the thing, so
the
you'll
latest episode.
Yes, this week's Homeland.
The one that aired February 19th.
We have, so it's the follow-up to the explosion at the end of last week where Seku's van blew up. And so, of course, now everyone's ticked at Carrie for having gotten him out of prison. But this week we learn that Carrie did not get the phone recording from who she thought she got it from, which suggests conspiracy.
Well, that guy's right. So that guy's right. He said her contact sent it. Not only didn't give it to her,
reported her for asking.
Said, hey, I've been asked to give this, and I'm doing my. So it came from somewhere who wanted. So what wanted Seku out, presumably, so they could set him up
to make him the patsy for
this. And we're now led to believe that the whole purpose of this is to destroy the Iran deal, right? I mean, that's the only other thing.
I guess. I mean, I was trying to the only
because then it would hold that they deliberately blew it up in a place where it wouldn't hurt people. Right.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, we only killed 2 innocent people.
We have to figure out how many conspiracies there are here, because it's like, are the people who are trying to sabotage the Iran deal also the people who set up who wanted Seku to be out to be the bomber, or is it 2 separate things where they wanted Seku to be the bomber, but they also wanted to diminish Carrie in the eyes of the president-elect?
Right. But I think only diminish Carrie in the eyes of the president-elect to get to a larger. That can't be their end.
The whole thing,
right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to scare us. I mean, that's clearly the idea. That's what we've heard is that we all went crazy after 9/11, and we've made a series of bad decisions, right?
So make America scared again.
Right, make America scared again. So we continue in the vein that we have. That's what it seems to be. But very significantly, Dar Adal, who were set up to be a bad guy, as always, proves that there are limits to perhaps his evility. Right?
Villainy.
Right. No, I like that's my favorite.
I like villainy. You're right.
It's my favorite made-up word. So that if his villainy, but if his evility is limited to because he seemed interested in what Saul actually had to say. When Saul said, "No, that told me with the cigarettes that guy had been there before. So if he's been there before, then maybe he was coached." And Dar wasn't like, "Oh, that's crazy, Saul." He was like.
So
Like, wait a minute, am I getting played? And they know that I'm part of the toughen up team, but I'm not, like, if it's not true.
So is somebody at Mossad now manipulating Dar?
Right.
And by the way, I don't know if you caught last week's recap, Robert Abele pointed out, which is something I hate to, Bob.
It's okay, Bob.
Robert, not this Bob, pointed out last week that the Iranian guy is the dude from a couple seasons ago who murdered his family.
Jafati.
Yes.
No. That was a big moment of who was pseudo abducting Saul.
Right.
And what was that conversation? And then the Israelis freak out and we're gonna keep Saul 72 hours to sweat him out before they send him back.
Okay. We also have the whole thing where the POTUS is being isolated from her staff and has no control over anything.
That's Dar. That seemed like Dar's move because when he comes in, he goes, "Here's this phone." Like he would know. That protocol, we can't get your staff, they're being mobbed by the press. Why would our chief of staff be getting mobbed by the press?
Right, and also like why the whole shenanigans of like not giving her a TV when there's a TV already there upstairs?
No, they were trying to keep her out of it. They were trying to construct events without her there. And as we saw later with the Alex Jones character.
I was saying, was it all meant to feed into the narrative of discrediting her because she had said, let's not panic about this?
They're discrediting her. This was all, we're going to keep you out of this and we're going to make you look bad. Which means there are hands of the government involved in that process. But again, presumably that is so that they fear that she represents a genuine change a paradigm shift in American foreign policy that they don't want.
I mean, it does kind of raise the question, like, if you are the president-elect and you have like the Secret Service and all that stuff, but you haven't taken the oath yet, I mean, how much control do you actually have over, no, I'm going to stay here or I'm going to do whatever? Like, because she kind of gets swept into the thing and it doesn't really get the option.
I think it was good. I think it was good that she didn't really. I mean, she was a little slow on the the uptake to realize. Like, it took her a while to realize, wait, this is all for show.
No, I don't blame her for it, but I mean, I just am legitimately asking the question. Like,
I think when Secret Service comes in and they tell you this is a terrorist situation, we got to move for your security, and your chief of staff logically says, no, we got to protect you. You go along with it, and then all of a sudden you're at a farm in Pennsylvania, and you can't talk to anybody. And then Dar gives her that, so the phone doesn't work. So Dar is. See, I'm totally curious at the extent to which Dar's involvement is, because I thought his reaction to Saul revealed a genuine, like, wait a minute, so maybe they're not cheating on the deal? Now we need to investigate.
They so
more.
immediately set up Dar as being, like, manipulative prick that he is, that I think, obviously, for dramatic purposes, we have to find out that even he is being played.
Right.
I think you're onto that.
Yeah, and that's good, because then they use Dar, because they're like, Dar's instincts will take care of Dar. Dar thinks we should be tough and fight and send the fleet into the Strait of Hormuz.
Right.
We don't need to tell Dar to do that. Dar legitimately thinks that's the best way to protect America.
He's already leading in that.
Right, and that's fine. But that's the genuine argument that the president wants to have.
Okay, we haven't talked about Quinn yet.
Oh, right, we've missed the
which, holy shit.
Right, yeah.
So after the bomb goes off and Carrie has to go deal with Seku's mom and sister, she leaves Quinn to mind Hannah?
Nope.
No.
Franny.
Franny, thank you. To mind Franny for 45 minutes until Letitia, the nanny, can get there. And meanwhile, the horrible TV press starts showing up on the stoop wanting to talk to Carrie, and he, fairly legitimately kind of flips out. Obviously, he goes a little overboard because it's Quinn, and Quinn has suffered.
I don't think he should have thrown her down the stairs.
That was too much. And shooting at the guy throwing rocks, a little much.
Although, as Carrie said, if she'd want, that's the great TV line, always happens in TV. If she wanted him dead, he'd be dead.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I got it, but I mean, it's a handgun from 50 yards. Like, I'm not sure. But
still, though, but when they're sitting in the SWAT team and she's like, "Do not, no," and then he grabs the first one, like, "Okay, fine, pull back." I mean, he's obviously suffering right now, but you can't completely blame him for how he's responding to what is an extreme situation.
No, and he has the most legitimate PT. It's all legitimate, but his PTSD is we know exactly where it came from and how hard it would be to deal with your life in that situation. I thought the cop, he went from obviously let the mother of the child, who's a former CIA agent, and know this guy.
Well, do people know that she's a former CIA agent?
Yeah, but then why doesn't she say, "I serve. We are both former CIA agents. Can we?"
I don't know if you get if there's certain things where you don't get to talk about that stuff. Like, I don't know who knows Carrie's actual past.
I got it. I think you could say the cop were both former government agents. I can speak to him, right?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. It just and then of course when it goes wrong, then he's all for it. It just
that was, you're right. I mean, the conversation that no one's having that would have changed the plot.
Would have changed could have helped. And whatever. Then you have to figure out a way why that doesn't work, or maybe Quinn says they have the conversation and Quinn's like, Are they making you say this, Carrie? Don't worry, and hangs up the, it could go wrong. Right. He's not thinking straight. And you're compassionate to Quinn enormously, because all of it means well, and even though he's scaring the hell out of Franny and Letitia, he is trying to protect them.
Yes, and weirdly enough, he knows more than most of the people involved with all this, just that nobody believes him because he is the sort of classic unreliable narrator right now. But at least the episode ends with Carrie finding the photos and being like, oh, so she's going to start piecing it all together.
And she's got to help Quinn out of whatever situation he's in. But at the same time, what's one thing they got right is that though nobody believes him, and that's a conversation that you're like, no, Quinn, explain it clearly. He can't really explain it clearly. Like, he doesn't quite know what to say, when to say it.
And you don't completely blame her for being like, no, for dismissing it, because of course it all seems like it's these ravings, but obviously she's going to piece together like the Seku van with the pictures and the whole thing. And she knows that obviously there's something not on the up and up about Seku's release because of the whole phone call thing. And FBI guy who has been her adversary, I think, is now going to maybe be working with her because he too, like potentially Dar, is being played in all this.
Right. So there was which I always like when people who you think are sort of the worst sort of corruptible Nemesis, turned out to be. This seems more of a mystery than this one seems less driven by 24 events, and this is more of a conspiracy than previous episodes, seasons?
I don't know.
I'm not knocking it. I like it.
I think a lot of seasons has been about piecing stuff together, like the whole one with the drone and the medical student. Like you weren't sure, like was he involved with the uncle or not? And I mean, like a lot of it is sort of about the actual legwork of intelligence.
But here we just don't know. We don't know what the people across the street who hired them. We know they're bad. But what is Dar's motivation? What's the FBI's motivation? Who's the person up the chain?
NSA,
who's lying? Saul, and then that little mystery about the president, like the president-elect. Maybe she is soft. Maybe her grudge is soft in the wrong way. Maybe her grudge is personal because of the loss of her son.
And again, are we dealing with one conspiracy, or are we dealing with overlapping conspiracies that happen to be working in each other's favor?
Right, and or did the right and did,
is it the Mossad guy and an NSA person, and they don't know each other's doing the same thing, but they're both feeding each other's agenda? Who knows?
And the other driver there at the Medina Medical, the light-skinned guy, who twice gave us the TV trope of we good.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, we're good. And they're like, oh, no, you're not good. I know that kind of, we're good. He doesn't mean it. He does not think you're good.
Yeah, wait, is this the one who accused,
yes.
of being,
he accused him of being and then it turned out, he was a coworker. We saw him again. It was the same guy at the party and driving before he went out.
So is it that he's the informant, he's trying to cover up that fact by accusing?
Right, is he involved, or is he just, who did this? Is there a legitimate terrorist involved in this, or is this all the work of sort of black op
government people who want to scare people into letting them invade somewhere?
Right, which may legitimately be no, this is a president who will weaken us and expose us to terror, and they, in their warped way, think we have to stage this. Or is it right? It's because they want a big government contract. Is it money, or whatever?
But then, of course, there's also the weird thing where, like, you've got the Alex Jones character on here, and what Jones and his ilk always like to pull out for events that don't fit their narrative is, it's a false flag. Oh, this was all planned. Whether it's 9/11 or Newtown or whatever. And I'm like, is this show going to suggest that this giant terrorist event was a false flag?
That would be the irony, is that the one that he loves, the one he thinks is not a false flag, he's like, no, this was
actually,
right, this is Islamic extremist, dangerous terrorists, the people who you're too weak to stop, and it'll turn out it was actually a false flag. That would be funny. But I just want, as long as the Alex Jones character gets suitably ridiculed for being the worthless piece of garbage that Alex Jones is, I'm all for it.
I can't get what this guy's accent is. He seems to veer into British occasionally.
Australian, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
He's not holding it, but I still like he gets nicely throaty when.
Oh, yeah, no, definitely, yeah. So many mysteries to unfold on this season of Homeland. So come back and we'll try and figure them out.